What is going on, people? Threat VCS coming back at you with another video. Thank you for tuning in. Today we will be covering the best CSGO cases you can invest your money into when I'm recording this video in May of 2020. I'm going to start with the least expensive cases I think could rise in price and move up to the most expensive that I think will go up in price. It's a pretty decent list of items, so bear with me and we'll dive in starting with number 1. Starting at 15 cents, we have the Operation Wildfire case. This case is a decent investment, mostly because of the AK fuel injector and the Desert Eagle Commuter Dragon, which I think have been the most hyped up skins out of this case. It also has the chance of getting the Bowie knife, which, I don't know, some people are into that. Anyway, the case has been added to the rare drops list, meaning the likelihood of you getting this case after a match is fairly slim. Now, because this case hasn't been discontinued, there's always going to be that slow trickle of these items being added to the game until it is discontinued, if ever. And same goes for the majority of the cases we'll be looking at on this list. The Wildfire case is not my first choice when looking for a good case for investing, but the chances of the price going up from where it is now is fairly high if we see the supply of these run lower, or if there's rekindled hype for any of the skins in this case. Before we go to number 2 on the list, I want anyone who is serious about investing in cases or any other item in CS to know that most of the time you will not see short-term profit, and that I'm personally in this for the longer term. And when I say longer term, I'm talking at least 2 years or more. Sometimes hype for items will cause the price to jump sooner than that, but that isn't something anyone can truly predict. What we can sort of predict is that people will continue to open these cases, and in the next 2 years or more, the supply will begin to thin, naturally moving that price upwards. I will give an example on this once we move a little farther on the list, but be prepared to hold your investment. Be patient and you will see some sort of profit. Coming in at number 2, we have the Operation Falcon case. I feel a little better about this case because of the Falcon knife, which has a good demand potential if they don't add it to any other cases, which I don't think they're going to. But this case also has the Op Hyper Beast, which was the hottest skin out there when this first came out, and the AK Aquamarine, which was also very popular at the time. So the same potential I mentioned with the Wildfire case can be applied to any of the cases I'm going to talk about here. Supply and demand. If we see the supply thin, we could eventually see a comeback of the Hyper Beast prices and Aquamarine prices we saw when this case came out, which in turn would make this case more valuable. It's not going to happen overnight, guys. Patience is where it's at. I wouldn't expect huge returns on profit either within that, 2 years or more wait time I talked about. We're talking maybe 50 cents per case or maybe a little over $1. We can't really predict price, but with some cases I'll be going over shortly, this is exactly what happened with them. The more you put into your investment, the more you'll gain. I know it's simple what I'm saying, but people expect to get a ton of money from a $5 investment, and that's typically not going to reap the rewards thereafter. And I'm not saying it's bad if you only have $5. That's kind of where I got started. You just can't expect a ton of reward from that necessarily. Coming in at number 3 is where I think the momentum is already building, and that's the Operation Vanguard case. Skins include the AK Wasteland Rebel, which you don't see as often being used in game, but definitely an interesting skin. Also the P2000 Fire Elemental, which is a very bright skin you may not see used as often, but a very cool skin as well. And also the Scar 20 Cardiac, which at the time this came out, probably the coolest Scar you could own. There are other skins in these cases, of course. I'm just showing the skins I personally like best for demand potential in the future. Currently at 48 cents, this case may seem a little lackluster to some, but the supply has definitely thinned, and what I'm looking at is roughly 19,000 currently listed on Steam. Of course, there are going to be more of these up on third-party sites as well, but compared to the 104,000 and 96,000 listed with the Wildfire and Falcon cases, this is a significant supply difference, and is largely why the price is sitting at 48 cents overall, and, a good investment case in my opinion, purely because of the supply. At case number 4, we have the Operation Phoenix case. Now, this case has some serious potential to go up and is one of my favorites to buy into right now. Sitting at about 50 cents at the moment and a current 74,000 listed on the market, we have a very popular case that holds the Op Asimov and the AK-47 Redline. Two of the most iconic and popular skins in the game. And now, if you remember what I mentioned before with the Vanguard case only had or currently has 19,000 listings on Steam, and it's the same price as the Phoenix case, which has roughly 74,000. This is because the demand for these skins is much, much greater, and why I think if we ever reach 19,000 listings or lower with the Phoenix case, Who knows what the price will be at? I'm hoping higher than $1 per case, but this is definitely one of my favorites to buy into, and is a relatively safe investment as well, as long as CS continues to move the chains. Coming in at number 5 and currently sitting at 60 cents, we have the Operation Breakout case. This case houses the Glock Water Elemental, which is a very popular play skin within the community, and has good hype potential. It also has the M4 Cyrex, which is still very widely played with and used, and we also have the P90 Asimov, one of the best P90 skins you can own, and if you're still following along at this point, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I appreciate that you've stayed with me, and we're going to jump to the 6th case on this list. Actually, I should say cases plural, because we're going to take a look at the eSports 2013 summer and winter cases. The summer case is currently at $1.53 and has some excellent skins. We're talking the AK-47 Jaguar, the M4A4 Bullet Rain, the Desert Eagle Crimson Web, which is huge if you can get it in factory new, and a bunch of other very popular skins. What I'm looking at right now is under 6,000 listings on Steam. Who knows what the price will be once we're in the hundreds or less listed. This could have some huge potential. The same goes for the eSports Winter case, coming in at around $1.40. This case has the M4 X-Ray, the Op Electric Hive, and the Desert Eagle Cobalt Disruption, and the AK Blue Laminate. All very cool throwback skins that I think people will want to own. Currently at less than 4,000 listings on Steam. I've personally purchased a handful of these recently because there could be a rise in price faster than that long-term 2-year period I've talked about. We'll see what happens. I purchased about 40 of those this morning. Last case coming in at number 7, we have the recent Shattered Web case that is currently $1 per case. The reason I think this will do well is not only due to the skins being really cool, it's the fact that this case seems to have been discontinued. I haven't seen any of these drop in game after the end of Shattered Web, and neither has anyone else that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, in the comments, but I think that this could have a similar price jump that the Operation Hydra case had when players found out that that case was discontinued. There have already been a lot of investors with this case, so it may take a little while longer than the Hydra cases for that jump to happen, but if these are discontinued, it could be a really big jump. Definitely worth a shot if you're going to put some money into case investing. This case might actually have a better short-term potential than any of the other cases mentioned if you're looking for the $5 case price. It depends on what you're looking for, of course, but long-term could see even higher depending on the hype. Not to mention the insane amount of unique knives that were added. The Nomad knife, the Skeleton knife, and the Paracord knife were released in this case, and we won't know if these knives will be included in later cases. Only time will tell. Regardless of that happening, I still think the skins in this case will have very high demand for a long time. That concludes my list. Please do your own research and make your own decisions when investing. This list was my personal opinion on what I think could do well in the future. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate you. Have a great day and stay tuned for more Counter-Strike related content. Have a good one, guys.